I've been playing Guild Wars 2 for about 3.5 years at this point, but I only started doing fractals of the Mists about 1 year ago. It hasn't been quite 1 year. It's all dungeon work, and I've approached it a couple of different ways. Initially, I went in with Sandra Salor, who's my bae, and, that's all well and good. But I was getting complaints that, like, if you keep your distance, then you can't support each other with the boons, because boons only have such a limited reach. And considering that the Ranger's longbow goes out to 1,500, and your average boon doesn't reach any farther than maybe 1,000, I was kind of told, yeah, okay, it's all well and good for Tier 1, but at Tier 3 and 4, no, you're not going to do it. Oh, alright, fine, I'll do the close range thing. I got my ass handed to me in close range fractals. It just, like, as much as I trust Darren Axe Devil, it was pretty damn bad. So now I'm playing around with a new meta, a non-meta, and that's with Warden Arter here, who is actually my second ranger. I made him year and a half, 2 years ago, because I was like, I love my first ranger so much, and she's now she's a soul beast these days, which I really enjoy soul beast, by the way. At least in open world I do. Hey, why don't I just take a second shot at it? And so I made Arter. Arter, I didn't quite have any particular plan for him. So I was just kind of, let's do an alternate version of a ranger and see what happens. Let's not use the longbow and see what happens.
Isn't it obvious? The lights are eyes.
Quit pulling my tail.
Look at the eyes. Tilt your head a little.
Come on, I don't... Burn me, it's a stingray.
Yes, I like that conversation. Because, you're like everybody else. Is like, what the hell is that thing? Burn me, it's a stingray. Anyways, so I'm currently using a non-meta build. It's an experiment for me, because, like, I want to do the long-range thing. I'm at my best as a support player, or a damage multiplier. But, I can't really do much with him if I'm just doing longbow all the time. So I've got absolute confidence in the Ranger's longbow, but I need to do something else. And so I'm running staff, which means he's a druid right now, which I never really used all that much, because if you hit F5, it's nothing but healing. So yeah, that's the story on Arter. He's just an alternate. He's just a separate ranger, and I don't know. I'll come up with a different skin for the staff eventually when I've finally kind of nailed down how this build is going to work. Why am I bringing all of this up? Yes, I'm currently Tier 2. There's all my stats. I was actually switching around agony resistance between Darren and Arter. And I was like, yeah, while I'm at it, why don't I just do the jumping puzzle? Because you can see there's a grand chest right there. Why did I mark that? I don't know. Most people don't know, unless you tell them. And I've actually, there have been, level 230, level 260, or Mastery 250, 260, whatever's players running around in here, and they have no idea there's a jumping puzzle in this very much modified, or I should say updated, Mistlock Observatory, because originally, there were a bunch of different islands and stuff like that. This island here looked pretty much the same, but you had to get authorization, and it came... I want to say it was Living World Season 3 where they redid all of this. It was a bit of a convoluted mess, as I understand it. I wasn't doing fractals at the time, because I've only been doing them for less than a year. So what you want to do is you want to go to the Practice Island, or whatever it is. You don't even have to do Mistlock Singularity. If you have those, you don't need them. And for your own sanity, talk to this guy, set the checkpoint to this island. And away we go. I want to say this one is called Mistlock Mountaineering, something like that. I'm going to put you away, and you'll pop up again as soon as I do a big jump. I would say that it would not be bad to have a speed boost in here of some kind once in a while. Not necessarily all the time, but pull it out for some of the longer jumps or whatever it is. You don't have to use the reduced fall damage thing if you don't want to. That's not a requirement for this one. There are some fatal falls, but I don't think the reduced fall damage is going to do you any good in the actual jumping puzzle part itself. If you fall, that's your fault. That's your fault. But like right here, for example, it'd be good to have a speed boost. Also, right here would be a good place for a speed boost. If you're not confident, then a speed boost would be useful right there. A temporary one. Right there is also a good place for a boost. Another boost there. And while it's still lasting, and boost there. Don't really need a boost for that one, but whatever. Boost right there. The only thing you have to worry about with this one is just don't bang your head on this rock wall, right on this little rock point right here. Right there. There's a possibility you can bang your head on that. And this is the last jump. This is the last, area where you could fall to your death or something like that. So it is possible to bang your head on that thing. So just be aware of that. Just an average, ordinary, everyday jumping puzzle, except it gives you a handful of fractal relics. Once in a while, not always. Yay, we made it, hooray! So whatever. But while you're up here, why not go for the diving goggles right over your head? By the way, if you need a mesmer port, just activate your port right here. Jump onto that ledge right there, and then you can hop down without any damage. If you jump directly from here, directly to the platform, you'll die, even if you have reduced damage reduction. So find your way to that platform, or to the top of this structure right here. Jump to there, then jump down, then you can provide a teleport. Anyways, I'm not a mesmer, I'm a druid. And yes, it is very slippery up here, so do be careful. I'm in trouble right now. And your objective... What's that? Oh, I've got super speed. I'm going to use it. Yeah! Can I make it? Oh, it's always close. Made it. Woohoo! So ordinarily you could do this just for fun, but it actually is part of the achievement of the diving goggles. If you don't make this jump, then you will die. Not only will you die, but you won't get the achievement. So yes, I'm gonna get myself out of here. Ta-da! And that is it for Mistlock Mountaineering. This is AV Unit 4A saying, thank you for tuning in.